Hello everybody, I'm Dan Moriarty, and welcome to this week's TNN Motor Madness Monster Jam. Well, last week, guess what happened? You know it. Gravedigger and Dennis Anderson came limping into the Astrodome, but only like Dennis Anderson can. They took on all comers, and this week, Yahoo! See how they fare on hanging on to the checkered flag. Along with that, Quad Wars, Team Houston and Team Seattle. That promises to be a barn burner. Unbelievable. Mike and Scott, upstairs to you guys. How you doing this week?
Dan, we're doing great and excited about some great monster truck action set to roll tonight here in Houston's Astrodome. We are down to the semifinals. Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Hogwood along with Scott Douglas. Scott, I think we got a great semifinal matchup here in Houston tonight.
Well, it's going to be awesome. And, of course, the story with the Gravedigger coming back as we documented last week. He looks like he hasn't missed a beat from last week's crash, but Samson is really on a roll of late. Would love to get a win here.
And how about Monster Patrol? Always a threat every show we do. He'll be ready to run tonight, trying to make it and win this time.
I think maybe the surprise in the Final Four has to be Alan Pizzo and the Predator, but he gets a shot to knock off the big gun first off.
And Gravedigger, great job of getting it back together after an accident a week ago, and he is ready to roll tonight. Gravedigger against Predator.
And, of course, that first match you talked up with Samson and Monster Patrol, but that's not all tonight.
Nah, we got Quad Wars coming your way. That's always a lot of fun and a lot of action as well. Well, it's TNN's Motor Madness Monster Jam. We're in the Astrodome in Houston. Get ready for some rockin' action next.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7.
Moonshot. Oh, Moonshot, okay.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. Liftoff. Liftoff. 30 minutes.
A moonshot would be when you hit the backside of the cars real slow, and then you just, you know, accelerate as fast and as hard as you can, and it shoots the truck straight up in the air.
It's almost like a space shuttle ride.
I've never heard the Moonshot, but I always call them a sky ramp.
Some of them we call moonshots, like you say. Some of them we call just tear the truck to pieces.
It's a ramp that's it's not really long. It's not long in length, and it's kind of steep. Air looks cool, but air doesn't always win. I love getting air.
Well, the crowd love them getting air, too. Monster Patrol is heading into the semifinals. Monster Patrol going up against Samson, but Monster Patrol been running strong. There's Samson, Dan Patrick at the controls.
Getting ready for the semifinal. For Monster Patrol, it's really been tough here in Houston, but as we've seen, Samson has a way of getting into finals. He'd love to break through here in Houston, get a championship, but the first thing you've got to do is get to the finals. He'll have to beat Monster Patrol to do it.
There's Paul Schaefer. You notice that wing on the back, and you see some of the fans here getting fired up, and the muscle look of Dan Patrick and his truck as well. Both are ready to go. Semifinals. This is where they'll really be focused. Camera's going down now.
Can't afford to lose here either. No fast loser coming out. Oh, Monster Patrol really nose dove it. Kind of stuck the nose, and now it's
And up on two wheels, that's going to kill him.
That's it.
It's going to be Samson who's going to win. Paul Schaefer got up on two wheels in the turn, and it was all she wrote from there.
Boy,
Tough
terrible
luck.
time. Terrible place for that to happen in the semifinal round. I'm sure Paul will tell you that's probably one of his worst drives of the year. Let's watch what happens to him. And I think where he really gets in trouble is right here, because now he's up on those front wheels. It kind of throws him out of kilter. Then he gets up on the side, and he's done.
Boy, what a disappointment. You know, you can almost sense his disappointment there. He's mad at that point. It's just a tough run for Paul Schaefer. And Dan Patrick and Samson, though, you give Dan Patrick some credit, but let's not count him out as one of the potential winners here. We've talked about him not winning on Motor Madness all season long. This might be the night for Dan Patrick and Samson. Very strong run to move move to the finals.
No doubt. He's Mr. Consistency, as we've been saying. And, you know, when you use the term not winning, it's the overall event. But in terms of race to race, he's winning a lot.
Indeed. Coming up, Predator and Gravedigger on Motor Madness Monster Jam. We'll be right back.
We're back with Motor Madness. Monster Jam swings westward this weekend to Santa Rosa, California, and next weekend to Roseburg, Oregon. Come on out to see all the high-flying monsters you've seen on TNN. Get your tickets at pacemotorsports.com.
Now it's going to be interesting to see what Predator Alan Pizzo can do. He's an underdog going against Gravedigger, but Predator has some strength, and Gravedigger is still a question mark. That truck was beat up a lot in the first couple of rounds. It was not in great shape when it got here, so we'll have to see what Gravedigger can do.
I tell you, he's a question mark on paper, but he wasn't a question mark last week going through the first few rounds of competition. He's been awesome, and I think the telling sign was in the second round matchup with Barefoot, Gravedigger out-horsepowered him in the straightaway and then killed him in the turn.
And you can see some things missing on the side of Gravedigger. There is Predator, Alan Pizzo. He's got to be prime, thinking that he can upset this crowd and Dennis Anderson. Look at all the Digger fans who are here in the Astrodome tonight for this semifinal run.
You know, when we think about it, these trucks running for that Pace Motorsports $100,000 championship point fund, Predator's got a great chance to make up some ground here.
It was an awesome start by Dennis Anderson. He's up on two wheels in the turn, but holds it straight. Great job by Dennis Anderson, and Gravedigger goes on to win to advance to the finals. Listen to the crowd.
He's falling apart here. The whole body is caved in on him. I don't think I've ever seen a body stay intact but cave in like that. And, you know, it's obviously from last week where they had to put everything and piece everything back together. It's coming apart on him. Doesn't seem to be costing him any time.
That roll cage is still there. Look at that sheet metal coming up. But look at the crowd. Great crowd here in the Astrodome, and they are all on their feet. Look at all the Gravedigger flags waving.
Just another chapter, another story of Gravedigger lore right here as the body is disintegrating on the big green and black machine. Let's watch the replay, though. Predator just got beat out of the hole. He was dead at the start, if you will, because Gravedigger had him from the get-go.
Predator trying to make up some ground, but when you get beat that bad off the start, it's almost impossible to do it. And Predator beat, but a good showing here in Houston, making it to the semifinals. And here's Gravedigger's run. You see the start. Absolutely awesome.
It was awesome. And as a matter of fact, when he gets in trouble in the turn, Predator could have made up some ground, but Dennis had such a solid lead, and he got it back down on the ground so quick he didn't really get hurt by the up-on-two-wheel action.
Well, Dan Moriarty is with the driver of that machine, Dennis Anderson.
Isn't it illegal to drive a convertible in this race?
All I can say is she's breaking up, Houston. Hey, we passed the body up from the previous race, New Orleans, hoping that it was going to stick with us a little better than it did. It didn't. At this point, we're leading into points. We got the checkered flag. Whatever it takes to win, we don't care. We're going to strip the old body off the Gravedigger. We'll be running a partial body. Hopefully, it'll stick with us. But we're running good, looking good as far as on the racetrack. So, as you can see the crew behind us, they're thrashing. They're just tearing the Digger apart. It kills me that they get to rip it and I don't.
Houston, we got a problem. All right, we'll see what happens. Now it's time for Quad Wars. Look at the point standings. St. Louis having a great year, but Houston and Seattle trying to move up into that upper division. They are battling here tonight.
That makes tonight a big race for both teams, trying as we get into the late parts of the season to get into that championship run. And St. Louis is in control right now, so they want to gain some ground. In the green, that's the home team. Houston wearing the green jerseys tonight, Seattle in the white, and already one rider has left the course.
And if you haven't seen this Quad War action before, remember the only thing that counts is who wins, and we'll have a couple of heat races here. So the green is the home team, but right now the visitors are out in front. They're swapping that lead back and forth as they come around this course.
The number one quad is Scott Dunn leading the way, the team captain for Team Houston. Seattle's number 3, though, is hanging with him. That's Chad Smith. Smith is right there with him as they come over that set of jumps.
Chad Smith on the inside now, and it's Smith who's going to take the lead away from Dunn. But Dunn will have none of that, and he has come back. He's not done yet.
You know, when you look at it, it's the turns that are so critical, and it's just hard to hold the lead when you go into the turns. And now, actually, Smith is able to stretch it out a little bit. That's what he needs is some breathing room, because in the turns, Dunn is going to set him up for a better line as we get the white flag, 1 to go.
1 lap to go. We talked about how difficult it is to win on the road in this sport, and Houston, the homestanding team, trying to maintain their position ahead of Seattle in the point standings. Will they be able to do it? Let's see as we come across on the final lap, heading towards the checkered flag, side by side, Dunn and Smith. Whoa, Chad Smith kind of knocked him out of the way a bit. Is it going to be Chad Smith taking this one? Let's see. Smith is in control now.
That was kind of a body check if we're playing hockey.
Indeed it was, and it is Chad Smith leading Seattle to a win in Heat 1.
He didn't make any friends on Team Houston there.
We'll be back as the quad wars are really heating up. Homestanding Houston got to do it in this second heat. We'll see in a moment. It's heat number 2 of our quad wars, Houston and Seattle, reminding you that homestanding Houston is in the green jerseys. Seattle is in white. Seattle won Heat 1, and here we go. First turn. Oh boy, this looks like you could see that trouble coming right there.
Jammed him up, and it actually let Houston's rider Andrew Fitz get away from the pack. Now Scott Dunn is also broken clean. It's a big break for Houston. They got a big lead.
Scott Dunn is the captain, but he's running in second now to his teammate Andrew Fitz, but here he comes. Wow, he really got some air over that jump, and I think it's not going to be long before Scott Dunn is going to overtake his teammate here. He's got the lead. The only white-shirted Seattle rider in contention at this point of the race is Jeff Griffith, but he is a distant third. Right now, it's all Scott Dunn's race, thanks to that early breakdown or early problem for the team from Seattle, where 2 of their riders were caught up in that spin. And remember, it is only the person who wins that counts in the team victory. And Seattle wins here, it's all over. So Houston really, as the pressure is on, they have got to try to even this thing up, winning here in heat number 2.
Griffith has found a way to move into second, but again in quad wars, you really don't like being in the middle of this sandwich if you're a rider like Griffith, because what happens is you're trying to chase Scott Dunn down, but Fisk is going to mess with you, because all he's got to do is keep you from passing his teammate, and Houston will still win. But look out. Dunn carried way wide, and that gives the lead to Griffith. And
Griffith really did a great job on that turn, but here comes Dunn back. He has his own line around these turns. You saw Griffith. Wow, something, he really slowed down for just a moment. Griffith, something's wrong with the machine.
Momentarily stalled. He kick-started it while it was rolling, but look at all the ground it cost him. Big lead with the white flag for Dunn.
Final lap, and Dunn is way out in front. Scott Dunn, who is the captain of this home-standing Houston team, he is trying to lead them to a victory here in heat number 2. We are on the final lap, and when you get that kind of lead and you're the quality rider that Scott Dunn is, very few are going to be able to come and catch him. He can almost post home here, taking his time, not trying to make any mistakes as he goes up and over those jumps. Here comes Scott Dunn. The crowd is roaring, and Dunn takes the checkered flag. Houston has evened it all up here as they win heat number 2 over Seattle.
Oh, you can see how fired up Scott was as he came across the line. He's shaking those fists because he has made it 1 apiece as we're going to go to the finals in a little bit.
Well, Scott Dunn, looking behind him, knew that he had this and done a great job for his team. And Dan Moriarty is with the captain, Scott Dunn.
All right, you guys, you tied it back up. It's 1-1, going to the best of 3. How'd you do that?
No problem. See, number 1 for a reason. We're going to take this whole thing and we're going to take it to the house. They kind of got us off the start in the first moto. They kind of cheated and went around the bales of hay there.
Right.
We all came out legit this time. The true winner went to the front. That's what it's going to be all night.
Did you do something different on the course because it's your home course, you have a little bit of advantage here, or is it just because of the fans?
It's the fans. You know, without the fans, it's really virtually nothing. We love the crowd, and that's why we do it. It's for the fans.
Any team strategy for the final run?
Get to the front, stay in the front, and keep them behind us.
How do you do that?
Pull the whole shot and never look back.
We'll talk to you afterwards.
Thank you very much.
Any guarantees?
Absolutely, I guarantee it. Guarantee it.
Get out of here. We'll talk to you later on.
Well, that was the key, pulling that whole shot. Hey, we're going to talk about the collision course coming up on Motor Madness. Monster Jam. You stay with us. We'll be back in the Astrodome in just a moment.
Stay tuned. There's more Will they blast through the rafters? Get to IFMA Freestyle Motocross and see for yourself. If you thought Superman could fly, check out Freestyle and see what a real Superman is. It's rocking the nation, and you can get tickets now at pacemotorsports.com.
Hey, it's time now for our collision course feature. You want to see some monster truck wrecking? Hang on. Crowd here, the Astrodome, ready for some more monster truck action. But first, about our What's That All About segment. Turf drag's the subject today.
Basically what we have here is a modified midget. We run under the Battleground Speedway 8th Mile Sprint Association. The cars are scaled down sprint cars. Basically, you have coilover suspensions, you have torsion bar suspension like on this car. We all have a minimum weight at the end of a race. We'll come in and we have to weigh at least 750 pounds. We run on a 8th mile track, and probably top speed there would be 55 to 60 miles an hour. We've had them on a big high bank 3/8 and ran 118 with them. It just depends on the size of the track that you're running on. Being a stock engine, they still have the stock transmission. So tonight we'll probably run them in 3rd gear. If we were on a bigger track, we could either change the sprocket on the rear axle or just move up a hole in the transmission. So we ran them as high as, I ran this one as high as 6th gear and ran it way over 100 miles an hour. We run the same type of tires on them. Everybody will run the same tires. Everybody runs the same stock motors. Keeps the competition close and tight. Fun car, economical car, easy to operate. To get into this sport, I would say $3,000 to $5,000. Best kept secret in America. Everybody needs to buy one of these and come out and race with us.
And one of Scott Douglas's favorite bands, Better Than Ezra, is here tonight.
Are they here, really?
They are really here.
No kidding.
And you know who's got up with them down below?
Our own
rock star.
Yeah, man.
Dan Moriarty.
Hi, I'm Kevin.
And I'm Travis, and we're from the band Better Than Ezra.
Well, you know, writing music is about inspiration, and that's why we're here too. Is just to get the feeling, the vibe of the monster truck, to sit in Gravedigger, and hopefully we're going to get the inspiration to write a song, an ode to monster trucks.
Now, have you ever driven one of these things?
We haven't, but that's why we're here. We're hoping that Dennis can, hook us up.
Better Than Ezra wants to get in your truck.
Hey, I don't see a problem in it. I don't think they could break it any harder than I could.
Crushing trucks!
Rock music and monster trucks and carbon monoxide. Once you get those things all mixed together, it amounts to a good time.
Gravedigger! Monster trucks! We can get those guys a job. They're pretty good at this.
They're a little crazy. Hey, we got the Quad Wars final coming up. We'll have to think of a song for this in a moment here on Motor Madness Monster Jam. All right, it's time now for another USHRA update. We're going to take it to New Orleans. Some great monster truck action.
1998 action. Of course, we saw the 99 action here earlier on Motor Madness. The Superdome, always a great sight, and Gravedigger tends to run great in the Superdome. Here you see him in action with another Gravedigger victory.
And Barefoot Monster Patrol, we've seen them here in Houston. They've been big rivals for a long time. And Barefoot Monster Patrol all running strong.
Little Tiger and Bustin' Loose had one of the better runs of the day as they went after it. And then it was freestyle time as all the trucks come out and start getting into the freestyle action, including Alan Pizzo and that Predator kind of walking on the back wheels.
And here's Gravedigger, busting loose in the finals.
It was a big night for Ron Nelson, the Texas boy, trying to knock off Gravedigger, but Digger gets the winning.
Ready now for our final heat of the Quad Wars. Mike Hogwood, Scott Douglas with you in the Astrodome, and here we go. Who's getting the hole shot? Well, it looks like the visitors. They're in white. That is Seattle. In green, the home-standing Houston team. Seattle with the hole shot, but here comes Houston.
Got to hold that line close to the inside, and you can see right there Jeff Griffith, who had the lead for Team Seattle, washed out, and that allowed Scott Dunn, who has moved to the number 17 quad, to take the lead.
Scott Dunn, the team captain for Houston. And what a rider he is. We've seen a great performance by Scott tonight. And here you see him again having taken the lead. And the home-standing Houston crowd loves it.
Great spot right now for Team Houston because they've got that first and third spot. And as we've shown you throughout the night, that can get your leader some room to work with because the third place guy can kind of take your competition out. But look at that, a great move by Griffith as he slid to the inside.
Wow, Griffith is on that 55 quad now. And Griffith, what a job he made. He slipped a little bit there and allowed Dunn to take the lead. But Griffith has a really strong motor, and he's a great rider of this quad as you see him taking that turn, taking it really short, and he's able to hang. He's hanging it right there with Scott Dunn.
Long way to go in the main, so that's exactly what's going on now. Dunn knows he has to try and keep him on his hip, and if he gives up some ground in the turn, what he's going to try and do, watch right here, he's already setting himself up to try and make the move on the next turn because you want that inside line. You want to force your opponent out high in the turn, but you got to get closer to him than this.
Jeff Griffith. An outstanding ride as you see him get some air. Man, he really got up off the ground. Now he stalled it. Griffith's installed. Scott Dunn, the crowd is roaring. We're halfway through. You see the cross flags. What a great job by Scott Dunn, and what a bad break for Seattle and Jeff Griffith.
Boy, Houston is now checking out and running away with it as Scott Dunn is leading the pack, and there doesn't seem to be any white shirt. Well, now, wait a minute. I say that, and all of a sudden, blasting from the outside, Larry Jordan makes the big move to get up to the inside. I just don't know if he's got enough to hang with Scott Dunn.
We haven't heard from Larry Jordan tonight, but he's a very talented rider and has had some great runs so far this season, and we watch for him to come up through the field here tonight.
Again, though, he's got to battle those Houston riders who are running 1-2 with the white flag out. Now 1-2-3 for Houston. They are dominating the main event.
Houston is 1, 2, and 3. It looks like they're going to win heat number 3. We are on the final lap. And it was a stalled machine on the part of Jeff Griffith that has done Seattle in. Griffith, you see back there in the background trying to make up some ground, but he's not able to do it. Boy, Dunn really getting up in the air there.
Jordan had kind of made a move, but he slipped in the front, but all of a sudden at the checkered flag, you can see Scott Dunn is right back there again.
And listen to the crowd on its feet as Scott Dunn changed quads, but it didn't matter. He has a lot of talent, and they love it here. They know the situation with Houston and Seattle in the point standings. And the home Houston team has done a good job. Whoa, wait a minute.
They grabbed the checkered flag away from him. Scott said, wait a minute, that belongs to us. I'll tell you what, that is staying. That checkered is staying in the Astrodome with the Houston team.
Well, that will set up a grudge match between the quads. Well, you want to hang around for that because it is going to be fun to watch. We'll be back. More Motor Madness in a moment. Welcome back as we get ready for the grudge match of Quad Wars. We will decide the title here. Standing up on the far left, that is Scott Dunn. He is the captain of homestanding Houston. Home team's hopes ride on him. Jeff Griffith and Chad Smith are riding for Seattle. John Perkins is the other rider for Houston, and it is Dunn out in the lead early. But here comes Griffith. Here comes Chad Smith right behind him.
Dunn needs Perkins to get up there in the mix. He got a great start, but he needs his teammate to be able to battle here because you don't want to get down 2-on-1. Just like on a fast-breaking basketball, you don't want to be the one in a 2-on-1 equation. In Quad Wars, you definitely don't because it's a team sport.
Scott Dunn, though, has been riding great all night long.
And Perkins made a great move there.
He did indeed, and the two Houston riders are out in front. We're on the final lap here. Can Seattle catch him? It doesn't look like it's going to happen. Houston is really rocking here. The Astrodome crowd on its feet. Scott Dunn coming around. Will he be able to take the checkered flag? He is number 1.
Perkins' teammate riding strong as well. Having Perkins there with him blocked the turn. They couldn't get the inside line, and it is all Houston coming down to the wire. They got it. Dunn wins it.
Checkered flag, and it is Scott Dunn who wins here for Team Houston. As you can see, this crowd loves it. Congratulations to Scott Dunn. And boy, the guys from Seattle do not like it at all. They don't like some of the moves Perkins made, trying to block them to allow Dunn to come around and win.
But it was key to it. Dunn's a great rider, but you got to have some help in a 2-on-2 situation. Perkins did a super job of slipping up in that mix and just being able to deflect the attention of Team Seattle. Dunn got away, and he's the winner. They love it in Houston.
Yeah, they do.
Happy.
And the checkered flag is in the hand of Scott Dunn. And the PA system playing We Are the Champions. And again, Houston probably out of the running for the total team championship. They're a little far down in the standings, but they had a great run here tonight in beating Seattle. Dan Moriarty is caught up with the captain of the winning team, Houston, with a great performance here tonight. Let's go down to Dan and see what Scott Dunn has to say.
You guys came back in the grudge match. What happened?
From the get-go, when I took off and I was up front and they took me out in the corner, they've been cheating up north Seattle all this whole time. We came down here, we said we were going to kick butt in our house, and we did.
Now, when he took you out and knocked you from the front to the back, what was the call on that?
Well, they actually won it, but it was illegal for them to take me out in the corner the way they did. 2 against 1 and just take me out like that. That's not straight racing.
So you go 2-on-2 and you blew him away.
Straight out the door. I told you earlier, I guarantee you a win. I guarantee a win. I have a #1 plate because I am #1.
Awesome ride.
That's right. Thanks, baby.
You got it, brother.
And Dan, there's more awesome Quad Wars action in Roseburg, Oregon next week at the Douglas County Fairgrounds.
And we got our monster truck finals coming up straight ahead. Gravedigger and Samson ready to do battle. You stay with us on Motor Madness.
The RCA Dome in Indy is the next stop on the Pace Supercross circuit, but the place to be for the Pace Supercross Finals, Las Vegas, Sam Boyd Stadium. Be on hand as the champion is awarded the #1 plate. Last year sold out, so get your tickets now at pacemotorsports.com and listen to the live Supercross webcast at pacemotorsports.com, 10:30 p.m. Eastern every Saturday night.
There's Samson ready to go in the finals tonight. Can he finally do it on one of our Motor Madness Monster Jam shows? A look at Gravedigger. Man,
incredible.
That doesn't look like Gravedigger.
You know, it's amazing. The USHRA officials have gone over to make sure the truck is safe. All the roll bars, everything is intact. All the cage is intact. It's just the sheet metal that has come away. But let's look at how Samson got here, Mike.
Well, first he beat Little Tiger in round 1. And then Samson had a pretty good matchup against Prowler.
Well, he's been consistent all night. We've been talking about him being Mr. Consistency. Again, he started with a big win, let's say 2 lengths over Little Tiger, and then Prowler came to the scene. And, you know, Dave Pizzo's been running well of late, but he didn't have enough for Samson. I guess the thing about Dan is he's got that big, powerful Keith Black Hemi engine. He gets off the line well, and he's done a really nice job of cornering tonight. That's going to be a key in this final because of the way Dennis Anderson gets through the turns.
Samson then goes up against Monster Patrol. I thought this was going to be a great showdown, and indeed it was. Monster Patrol was not able to pull it off, so Samson is in the finals. Dan Patrick has to be excited about being here. Dan Moriarty caught up with him.
You know, guys, everybody else has been beaten up out here. This is his problem. What are you doing right?
Don't say I'm doing anything right. I'll get jinxed the next round. It says these trucks take constant care. I mean, they're like a marriage. You got to work every day to make it work, you know. But sometimes that don't work. But
well, we know that. We don't go that far.
We're not getting down to that, so right? Get that road, yeah.
No, kids like this show. But this track is just beating you guys up.
Well, I already lost lane choice next week because Dennis and I was clowning around a little bit. And I said, if I get you final round, I said, let's just flip for it now. Well, we flipped. I lost. And he kissed me, and I didn't like that at all, you know. But the left lane over there is tremendously rough. It is really rough. So, and that's the lane I'm in. And that's the breaks of the game. So he's going to run really hard.
Is there anything you can do in that left lane to take him out?
Beat him to the turn. If I can beat him to the turn, he's going to push hard. He may overcompensate and, you know, screw up there. If he gets up on 2 wheels, his truck
the rear end is an open rear end, like similar to like a street vehicle. I have a locker in the back. If I get up on 2 wheels, I still got a tire pulling. If he gets up on 2 wheels, he doesn't have anything pulling.
You notice in the semifinals, though, he's now riding a convertible.
Yeah.
He has panels falling off, things on the ground. You better watch out there.
I enjoyed that. That was pretty funny. At least it's not my stuff. I mean, I've had, in the past, I've had a front clip get loose and in between cars. I said, oh, hold on there, baby. Next thing it looks like a funny car flyover. It just flies up in the air, you know. Those things happen. I mean, it's been tough here for everybody now. I mean, a lot of breakage. I mean, we're getting into like the 6th week of competition, so it catches up.
Gravedigger has had a ride to the finals here. Started off against King Crunch. And that time Digger was in one piece.
You cannot say how amazing this performance is, and what a tribute not only to Dennis Anderson but his crew, that this truck was flipped and almost destroyed last week in New Orleans, and it has gone through first King Crunch, then the awesome Barefoot. He takes Barefoot out with a great run, and then as the body keeps breaking away, he keeps winning. It's amazing.
Well, he took out Barefoot, and Barefoot, we remember, won here in the Astrodome last time he was here. So that was a great run by Digger. And then in the semifinals, taking on Predator, and Digger got a great start here in that semifinal run and was able to make it. Well, Dennis Anderson and what looks like half of Gravedigger is ready to go, and Dan Moriarty is standing by with him.
As far as the track's concerned, it's really beating you guys up, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's kind of rough. We got a bunch of mobiles to go over. Then once we duck into that turn, I kind of got up on the side there a little bit, and I panicked. When I got on the ground, I just squoze it for everything it was worth to get across the finish line. I didn't have a clue the body was coming apart on it. I saw on the diamond vision the overhead, and it looked pretty cool, really.
It was very cool. Now, Dan Patrick tells me that you guys flipped the coin already, and he really hates his lane.
He does. He's hating it. I'll tell you what, Dan's laying down some nice runs out there, and he knows I'm going to run hard, the hardest I can every time I run. So, hey, I could mess it up. Dan could win. But, yeah, Dan doesn't like that lane over there. To be honest with you, I don't know about that lane. If I had to run it, I had no choice. But I won that coin toss. I was tickled to death. So maybe I can take the victory here tonight and hang on to my checkered flag.
Get back there and work on your Gravedigger body.
Right.
Take him away.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, brother.
All right, so both drivers think that right lane is going to be a big advantage. We'll see that in a moment. And we'll also have some freestyling. You'll love this. Hang with us on Motor Madness.
Want to have a
Time for our U.S. Off-Road update. We take you to Vancouver, British Columbia. These are the stadium lights going after it. They always put on a great show, and no difference here in Vancouver. Joe Price is having a good season. The winner there. He also leads in the point standings over Richard Kossoff.
And a very sizable, comfortable lead. Now we go to the super modified buggies as they get their chance at the Canadian soil. And Jimmy Nichols comes away as the winner. A bit of a surprise. Nichols having a great run, but Corey Witherell still on top in the points lead by 7 over Nichols, even though he didn't get the win there. On to the Stadium Sport Trucks, Mike.
And the Stadium Sport Trucks, as usual, Chris Brandt is running strong. He was the winner in this event in Vancouver, and Brandt is leading the point standings, but look how tight it is over Lee O'Donnell and Stacy Pike. The Monster Truck Finals here in the Astrodome. That is Gravedigger. Some of you, even diehard fans, may not recognize Gravedigger there. But Samson and Dan Patrick set to do battle, but Dan is in that left lane. You heard him tell us how rough it is there. We're going to see if that is really a disadvantage or not.
It's going to come into play, no doubt about it. I mean, the lanes are definitely different. Definitely come into this race looking at Dan Patrick. Off his consistent runs, he's been smooth. Dennis is that spectacular type of driver. He's really flamboyant. He's really going to go for it, as both drivers discussed. They know Dennis is going to give it everything he's got, and I think Dan Patrick may have hit on something. His Gravedigger fans have never been able to see Dennis that well in the truck, but Dan Patrick hit on something. He said, you know, if I can get the lead in the straightaway and make Dennis push, he wants Dennis to see him out in front, hoping he'll overdo it.
Really, Dan feels that the only way he can win this is if Gravedigger makes some kind of mistake, which Dennis Anderson doesn't do very much. So we'll have to see if Anderson can maintain his focus here and really concentrate, especially as he gets down towards that turn, which is going to be absolutely critical, Scott.
You know, Dennis has never jumped into a race that he didn't go all out to win, but I have just watched him tonight, and I've got to believe that bringing the whole flag concept back in him once again, flying that flag that is going to now be significant of who wins a TNN Motor Madness event, has just got him to take it up another level, to raise the bar a little bit more. He's not going to give that flag up without a fight.
No, he's not. And you see the skull and crossbones. You also saw that checkered flag. That flag signifies that he has won the last one of these TV events here on TNN. And they're off. Here we go with the finals. Heading down towards the turn. Digger's got him in the turn. Gravedigger beat him to the turn. Can he hold on? Yes, he will. That rough left side track, just too much for Dan Patrick to overcome. And Gravedigger is our winner here in the Astrodome. Let's watch how rough it is on this left side.
See him bouncing around on the turn, and then it's just, at this point, he knows he's done, because as Dan made the turn and looked, Dennis was in front of him, and he knew he had to have the lead in the turn, as he told us before the race. Watching Dennis, he's just going all out, and he knows he's got him at this point. I mean, when he makes this turn, Anderson knows he's the winner.
It was a great job by Dennis Anderson, and look at the flashbulbs going off here in the Astrodome.
How about a little freestyle? We're going to both these guys get out on the track, because the fans love it after the race to see the trucks just put on a show, and that's what we're doing right now. Gravedigger and Samson, two-man freestyle.
Well, one side of Gravedigger doesn't look too bad, but the other side, boy, you can sure get a good shot of Dennis Anderson working the steering wheel inside the cockpit of that machine.
Nobody does freestyle like Anderson, as we saw last week, and we're seeing again tonight, and he is just, I mean, he has no fear. He'll go anywhere. He'll tear anything up that's in his path, and that's what the fans have come to really love, as the checkered flag stays on the Gravedigger this time around. Wow, look at the air.
Digger really can get some air. Even when he has no sheet metal on his truck, he can really get up there. Freestyling with Digger. It's what they came to see here in the Houston Astrodome tonight.
How's that for sliding safely into second base? There he is. Dennis Anderson, the champion, as Houston stands in appreciation.
Our congratulations as well to Dennis Anderson. Great performance, and certainly getting saluted by the crowd here. One more time, we take a look at Anderson after he took that turn and made it on to home for the win. Well, Dennis Anderson and Dan Moriarty have hooked up again. Let's go now down to Dan.
Dennis, what is it about you and the Gravedigger that keeps you performing at the top?
Hey, I don't know. It looks like, hey, we're running at the top tonight. Cosmetically, we won't shining too good out there, buddy, because their mess was falling apart. But hey, I got to keep my flag on the back, get to carry it for one more weekend. And next weekend, I hope we can get this whole girl back in shape. We beat it up hard the last couple of weeks. That flag is costing me right now.
Oh, quit lying, you liar. You jinxed me. It's his fault, right? Oh, yeah. When he flipped the coin, I lost. He come over and did his Gravedigger crap on my truck.
Hey, well, he's the one that flipped it around before we were supposed to go. And thank goodness he had the puke lane over there so I could hang on to my checkered flag. Dan's a good runner and got some real good equipment. Maybe one day I can drive his truck.
Oh, no. Now, next Wednesday, if you call 1-800-DIGGER, he'll come to your house and he'll crush cars, all right? You don't have to have your own cars. Just have your neighbors leave. He'll crush their cars. So it's a fun time for all. So remember, it's 1-800-DIGGER.
Hey, guys, this is fun. These are the two guys in the finals. They're hanging down, busting each other. They're great friends. Monster Truck's all about that, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I'll tell you what, man, it's all joking aside. We were out here. I was out here to win this race tonight. It's pretty obvious. The fans know that. Always come out to win. We've got a big fan following here. I've been coming to the Astrodome since 1985. And in 1985, when I made my first appearance here, I didn't really do that good, but the people liked the old unique truck, and they knew I was trying hard. I was over driving the truck, breaking it up, and that's what they like. I've always drove like that. We just got a little tougher equipment underneath of us now. And thank goodness to technology and all my fans. If it wasn't for my fans, I wouldn't afford the technology.
One more time, Dennis Anderson leaves the Astrodome. This time, though, not with all of his truck. He left something behind for souvenirs.
No doubt. We got her scattered all over. All I can say is she's breaking up Houston, and we've done it right here in Houston. But we won. We kicked everybody's butt. I still got my checkered flag. Thanks a lot, you guys. See y'all next week.
Thank you, Dennis.
And again, congrats to Dennis. Hey, our Maylocks Minute comes from our Collision Course feature.
A lot of Maylocks over the history of monster truck racing.
There was some trouble here.
The old USA 1 went up top there.
Some of our video. Hey, let's go back now to Dan.
Well, the digger kept the flag, but he did not keep most of his truck. The most important part, the engine he has, the roll bars for safety, they're there, but they need a lot of work done. And as you can see, the Gravedigger itself, there's a lot of fiberglass missing. Next week, a lot of jumping, a lot of banging, a lot of crashing, a lot of action. But then again, there's always action here at TNN Motor Madness Monster Jam. See you next week.
We will be in Orlando next week. Looking forward to that. Had a great crowd here in the Astrodome tonight, and our congrats to Dennis Anderson, Gravedigger, big winner. For Scott Douglas, I'm Mike Hogwood. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week again at our new time, 8 o'clock Eastern, here on TNN Motor Madness Monster Jam. So long, everybody. See you next week.